Casey, just a little bit about you. You had a chance to get some time off, which is good, and you had mentioned that you guys were a little bit tired, especially after all the NCC tournament and everything. How do you guys feel right now getting ready for this matchup on Friday night?
Uh, okay, there's still, that layoff was good and bad though because we've got to shake some rust off still and get back into game mode and practice mode and all that. But it was definitely needed, and I can't imagine not doing it. I think we'd have just been really beating the proverbial dead horse to have kept coming in and we had a lot of illness and sickness, and we needed some time to rest. So, but now we're kind of shaking that off too. We're 2 days back into our preparation, and I think they're starting to get their legs back under them a little bit.
Now, was it easy though? You mentioned now they're getting their legs underneath them. Was it hard coming back though after that little bit of time off?
I think so. Monday we drug a little bit, and yesterday was a little bit the same of just kind of getting back into it. We gave them a long stretch. It's sort of like over Christmas, but they're still going to school, so they don't have as much rest, and they don't have as much bounce as they do over Christmas.
Coach, your thoughts about, I think we all knew it was going to be Mount Vernon since they are apparently pretty much fully
Yeah.
healthy right now. They go out there, they beat Connorsville relatively easily in the first night. What are your thoughts about Mount Vernon right now that they have everybody back?
Well, they're really good, and they started the year I think a top 20 team, and they went through their injuries, and he had told me that he envisioned them being a little bit like us last year, where they were going to get healthy at the right time, get everybody back and playing well at the right time. And it's in their gym. They have that senior class now that won state as freshmen, so they're pumped to go out well in their own gym, and they're going to be difficult. They're very talented. They've got two kids that are going on to play college, one at Butler, one at IU Southeast. Or we got a work cut out for us.
From a standpoint of what they do they do anything differently? You've seen them so many times now, I would imagine it's pretty much business as usual.
Space, good passing team, shoot it really, really well. Sandifer and Shelton both are 40+% from three, and not afraid of taking the deep three, which is psychological too. When they hit one from the volleyball line, everybody oohs and ahs, and your kids kind of. Well, we got to get past that stuff. It's worth the same amount of points. It's
Yeah.
the same thing as a dunk or a layup. It's points are points. And those are low percentage shots. So hey, you made one, that's great. The three that you missed, we've got to make sure we collect the rebound and go score on, so that we're getting our points as well.
I know it's always a disadvantage playing on their home floor during a sectional tournament like this. No matter how good or bad they are, they get a chance to play at home. Do you guys view that any differently? Because you went there last year and ended up winning the sectional championship.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, in terms of a crowd, it's good for them in terms of comfort that they don't have to get out of school, they don't get on a bus, and they just have a normal routine. Those things really make a difference. Their student section will be outstanding. You know, we are at a disadvantage a little bit because of that, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
There's only one school in each 49 sectionals.
Yeah.
There's only 49 teams who get that advantage, so we just deal with it. And hey, maybe one day we'll be able to host it too and get some benefit out of it.
What are you going to have to do to win this thing? It's certainly going to be an uphill battle, no doubt about it. Again, when you play a Mount Vernon team, they're healthy, they're at home. You're going to have probably the best game of the year to advance.
We need to play from behind, and that's something we haven't done well this year, other than maybe once or twice. They're gonna make shots. They're a talented team. They're gonna score. They're gonna get a lead. We got to keep playing. Because they've been hurt, they've been banged up. They're not in necessarily tip-top shape.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be a point in time where their legs are going to run out a little bit, where they're going to have to sub more than they usually would, and we've got to be in the game where we can take advantage of that. Preferably with the lead, but hopefully, if we get down 6 or 8, we can't give up.
Yeah.
Because they're going to come out, all the emotion, all the hype, everything like that's going to be in their favor. They're going to make some shots. They're too good not to make shots. We have to weather that storm and just keep playing.
Are you going to try to do anything different? I know sometimes there's a little bit of a philosophy that maybe you get into tournament play, you might slow things down, try to make it more your tempo as opposed to what you did during the regular season. Are you going in that direction at all?
Yeah, a little bit. I don't like it, but we're better when we're a little bit slower. We limit possessions. Now, that doesn't mean we won't put some pressure on them.
Yeah.
But we need to take our time. We need to execute. We don't need to be in a hurry to take the first available shot. We want to make them throw some passes before they shoot. We got to make sure that we rebound, that we win the loose ball battles, that we do the little things. When you have as much talent as they do, the way you beat a team like that is you beat them in every other area.
Yeah.
You may beat us in most made threes or most impressive shots, but you can't beat us rebounding. You can't beat us to loose balls. You can't beat us in the turnover battle. We got to shoot more free throws than them. We've got to win those little statistical things. those are the things that are going to make a difference, because Shelton's going to pull up from the volleyball line once or twice and it's going to go in. It's just the way they play.
Yeah.
So, and I don't necessarily feel like we should change our whole strategy because she's going to go 1 of 5 from out there.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to do what we do and try to take care of the ball, and we'll throw some pressure at them. We'll try to change up our looks a little bit, but those are things we've been doing all year.
What's your biggest concern offensively? Because the last time I saw you play, and the only time I saw you play in the month of January against, it was Jay County, where KK would have a good first half, and then I wouldn't see her for a quarter. That would go for a couple of other players as well. Is consistency offensively a concern for you right now?
Has been all year. And, you know, it's not that we get bad shots. We just don't shoot it well. And it's something that we're working on and we're working on. And at some point, we're due to have a good shooting night, and hopefully it's coming up pretty soon.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, we've got to be consistent. And we can't get upset when we miss a shot. You know, it's a game where if you shoot 35% from 3, you're a really good shooter.
Yeah.
You know, it's a game of mistakes. It's not a situation where you have to be perfect. And we can't let that get in our heads.
Does KK let that happen to her a little bit where she doesn't respond as well?
I think so. I think she gets frustrated and she cares a lot and she really wants to be good, and I think she feels like she's letting everybody down, and then she tries too hard, and then it kind of snowballs. And that's, you know, she's a sophomore. She's only 21 games into being a varsity player. Yeah. Hasn't played a lot of summer or extra basketball where that rhythm and routine is really set in. So, but it's one of those benefits that I think we'll see down the road from playing her as much as we have this year.
Go to your defense if you wouldn't mind for a moment, because when you zone trap and you go hard on the sidelines and you get that defense working, especially when you go to the half court and you've got big out front and a little smaller down on the backside, it confuses some other teams. I think we saw it in Jay County as well. How's that play to your advantage on Friday?
Well, I think the more that we can get the ball out of Sydney Shelton's hands and out of Sandifer's hands, the better off we are. The other 3 are good, but they're not as good, and so if we can kind of bait them into throwing those passes and then go trap those other 3 and make them mistakes, you know, I think that really helps us. And the more possessions that we have because we struggle to score, the more opportunities we have just by sheer numbers, the more we're going to score. So,
yeah.
You know, we need to get a couple of turnovers. We need to make sure we're getting every rebound and making sure we have as many opportunities to put points on the board as we can.
Casey, my last thing is a lot of the girls on your team have not played in a sectional tournament, at least at this type of level. They've been with you,
yeah,
but they haven't played these kind of minutes. What do you tell them before they walk out on the floor to kind of ease things a little bit? As you said, you don't want to fall behind early and play from behind if you don't have to. How do you ease their mind going in?
We're just treating it like a normal game. You know, we've played Mount Vernon at Mount Vernon earlier this year, and they got one of their girls back, so their crowd was hyped, and they had all that stuff going. We've been there before. We've done it, and that's kind of our message. Hey, you've played this game before. Just relax. You know, the atmosphere is going to feel different and be different, and they're going to recognize that, but we're going to try to make it as normal as possible. That, hey, this is, you know, we got to go play. We got to get a win. We try to win every game, so that part shouldn't be, you know, that sudden impending doom shouldn't be a different feeling. Hopefully they feel that every single game because they're trying to win every game.
Yeah.
If not, then we've got an issue there, but this is something we can use to spur them to play even harder.